Happy May 1st. So it is Friday, May 1st today, and we are going to do fractions again and splitting things up into wholes, halves, thirds, and fourths. So I know we did halves yesterday. Today we're going to focus on thirds and fourths, but we probably will talk about halves just a little bit because they're kind of all similar, and they go together in a way, and we'll see that. So your learning target is I can identify thirds and fourths in a given shape. So get rid of that. And I have our piece of paper up here, our one whole. Now remember, just as a little review, halves. And I'm sorry because what I didn't mention yesterday is why there's a 2 under here. This is called your denominator, just a little background. The denominator goes on the bottom, the numerator goes on the top. So the denominator is a 2 because there are 1, 2. There are 2 pieces of paper here, or 2 parts we call it. Okay, so we have the one whole, and then we have, I'm going to try to do it so you can really see it, except it might be a little difficult than I thought. So then we have our 1/2. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. So one whole, we have 1/2 here, 1/2 here, and then we're going to build on, and we're going to go into thirds. And the reason they have a 3 as a denominator is because they're into 3 different parts. So we have 1 part, 2 part, and 3 parts. Let me get another magnet. So they're split up into 3 parts. So we have 1/2, and I want you to be able to see this as best you can. Just bear with me. And then we have our 3. I have another magnet, it's Mickey Mouse. And these are all lined up the best you can be right now. And just move this one over. Okay, so we have 1 whole, 1/2, 1/3, and last but not least, which is what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about 1/3 and our 1/4. Now, fourth, you should be thinking, oh, well, that's probably split up into 4 different parts, and you're right. So the 4 on the bottom represents the 1, 2, 3, 4 different parts. Okay, and as I know you can't see it very well, but as you break down the piece of paper, you'll notice that your parts are getting smaller and smaller. So the whole is the biggest, and then you break it down, and it's a little smaller, gets a little smaller, gets a little smaller. Okay, so that's something, a pattern that you should be aware of. So next, we are going to practice this. So what I'm going to do, since we are, and I have the 1/4 up here right now, I want to bring back our graham cracker really quick just to show you how you can split your graham cracker into fourths. So here we go. Okay, so here's our graham cracker. Remember yesterday, this was our 1 whole because the graham cracker right now is together. But if I break it apart, that's when it becomes a 1/2. And then I can go even further, break this apart, and break this apart. Now count. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, which is what I was talking about. I don't know if you can see this. But remember, in your 1/4, your bottom number is a 4. That means altogether there are 4 total pieces. And out of that 4, I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to eat it. Not really, just pretending. Okay? But that's how you get it. So right now, if I grabbed this one and these 3 were together, we would have 1 over here and the rest are over here. You can split it, we split it into fourths. And that's how you do that. And we can put it back together. Remember, this is our half, and this is our 1/2. Okay, so let's now practice with shapes on the whiteboard just like we did yesterday. So on the top, I wrote, we're going to split these into thirds, and on the bottom, we're going to split these into fourths. So on the top, let's do thirds first. Now remember, if you remember from, I wonder if I can find it. This is 1/3, so remember the bottom number, the denominator is a 3. So you have to split it up into thirds, that bottom number. So you should have 3 different parts. Now for this one, you could go horizontal or vertical. And all you have to make sure is that you make it equal. So remember to try these on your own. I know some of them are tricky, especially when we're talking about thirds and fourths. So just try your best. You could just simply go like this and go like this, not split into thirds. So for the circle, I actually want to do this because I'm sure I will see it. Now ask yourself if that's even. Look at these end pieces and look at that middle piece. Are those equal? If that was a cookie or a brownie, would you want those pieces? You might not want those pieces because they're not equal. So let me draw my circle over again, because that's not something we can draw. We can't split it up like that because that's not equal. So what you actually have to do is make almost like a peace sign. And that would be equal. Okay? You split it into different parts. So with the triangle, I might have some of you say, oh, done, I'm done. Look at that top piece. Would you want that? That's not equal. Look at how much this is down here. So I'd want you to go back and check that. Make sure you're looking, oh, those pieces look really equal, or no. If you have to question it, you need to go try it again. So in order to split the triangle into thirds, which is another tricky thing, we are going to start at the corners and come into the center. So corner, come into the center, corner, come into the center. Remember, you're just trying your best. But those pieces are equal. So this is 1/3, this is 1/3, this is 1/3. That's showing thirds. 1/3 would actually be if it was colored in. So it's showing one piece is colored in out of 3. We will get that in the future. So I just gave you a little extra, but that's okay. So now we're going to split it into fourths. And if you look, fourths on the bottom denominator is 4. So you're going to split these into 4s. And I just like to write this so you guys can visualize what it looks like, because you will be seeing that in the future. So in order to split these into 4s, you could do different things. You could make sure you're thinking vertically and horizontally, because those are going to help you when you're splitting objects up. So maybe you want to try this vertically. Now, I'm going to stop because if I do this, that doesn't look even to me. And I really do want my pictures. I'm going to try my best on my pictures because I want you ladies to see and know that it needs to be equal parts. So what I'm going to do first is actually split it in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and split it in fourths because that's going to make my number equal. So that's one way you could do it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts or fourths. Your circle, how could you do that? Just like this. Okay, I'm all done. Sorry, there's a glare. Okay. That is not equal, and that's messy, right? So I don't want to see this. Let's really think about how we're going to do this. How would we split that into fourths? So think of like a pie. If you're going to cut a pie and you have to split it with your family, you're going to start splitting it like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Now I'm going to move it over again. So there's the triangle. This one's tricky. And I know maybe you've tried doing this. 1, 2, 3, and then that doesn't make sense. Maybe, I know I've seen before in the past this, right? That doesn't make sense. Those are not equal parts. You need to make sure that they're equal. I keep saying it because it's very important when you're dealing with fourths and thirds and halves and fractions in general. They need to be equal parts. So let me draw my triangles again, and we will do this together. When you get to the different shapes, it gets a little tricky. So your triangle, you're actually going to start making triangles in it. Now I'm just going to try my best. And I think I actually started too low. Remember, I want to do my best work, so I'm just going to fix it. Not a big deal. Oh, it's sticking out, it's sticking to me. Okay, so when I do my triangle, I'm almost going to make individual triangles inside. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are equal parts. Okay, 4 equal parts, which is what we want because we're splitting it into fourths. I'm going to pause this really quickly, and then I'm going to give you guys problems to solve. Okay, so let me make this so you can see it. So on the top I wrote thirds or fourths, or there might be 1 or 2 or I don't know how many that have none. So I'm trying to trick you, and I'm telling you that, so make sure you are paying attention. We have our first one, and you're going to fill in, is it thirds, fourths, or neither? Second one, is it thirds, fourths, or neither? Third one, third, fourths, or neither. Fourth one, third, fourths, or neither. Fifth one, third, fourths, or neither. Okay? So make sure when you're doing this that you're making sure that these are split into equal parts, because that's how we split our fractions and our thirds and our fourths and our halves, just like we've been talking about. So they have equal parts, and you're going to find out if it's thirds or fourths by counting. Thirds is going to be split up into 3 equal groups, and fourths is going to be split up into 4 equal groups. Okay? Do that. Have an awesome time. Go on Zern. Okay? And happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you Monday. Bye, ladies.